Mr Speaker.
Yes, the member must speak. I refer you to Speaker's Rulings 25/5.
Mr Speaker.
I call the Honourable Member Hilary Calvert.
I rise in support of the financial markets regulators and KiwiSaver and securities trustees and statutory supervisors bills. I sat on a Commerce Select Committee which considered the Financial Markets Bill, and I would like to commend the officers and everyone else involved who conducted the whole process excellently. New Zealand has the dubious distinction of being the first Western country to go into recession several months before the global financial crisis started. A big part of the reason was the collapse of dozens of finance companies since 2007, costing investors many millions of dollars. It was my colleague, John Boscawen, who led the campaign for an inquiry into finance company failures. He has heard many stories of mum and dad investors losing large portions of their savings due to actions that, while not illegal, were certainly unethical. The bills we have before us are in part a reflection of these stories, as well as, of course, the recommendations of the Capital Markets Development Task Force. They are a recognition that the current fragmented regime did not have the ability or power to hold trustees to account for their often dubious actions. These bills also recognise that to have a growing economy, we must have financial and capital markets that encourage people and institutions to invest. The establishment of the Financial Markets Authority will help foster such investment. The FMA is not only to replace the Securities Commission, but will also incorporate several other functions previously delegated to various other agencies. It makes perfect sense to bring these related responsibilities under the control of one organisation. The mission statement of the Financial Markets Authority particularly resonates with the ACT Party. Clause 8 of the Financial Markets Bill requires the new FMA to promote and facilitate the development of fair, efficient and transparent financial markets. As the defender of the free market, ACT is definitely in favour of this. In order to thrive, participants in the marketplace require confidence to invest. To have this confidence, they need information and accountability, more than they're getting at present. If the FMA succeeds in its objectives, we will hit hard those trustees who play loose with the rules. As a result, we will have financial markets that mum and dad investors will want to invest in. We also welcome the crackdowns on unsolicited securities offers. In case we needed reminding of the importance of this, a couple of weeks ago one such person, a Mr Bernard Wimp, made a timely reappearance with his latest lowball offer. Mr Wimp has made over $1 million by sucking in the unsuspecting. As business commentator Liam Dan said in the Herald on 12th of February, the unsatisfactory part of the Wimp transactions is that, despite being legal, the imbalance of knowledge between the buyer and the seller seems too large and the degree of unfairness too great to stomach. The Financial Markets Regulators and KiwiSaver Bill redresses this imbalance by requiring that warnings of a lowball offer be published in offer documents and on the website of the person making the offer. There will also be a minimum calling off period during which such investors can see the light. The Select Committee also recommended the disclosing of the market price of the securities. If investors, after all these red lights, forge ahead, then so be it. The problem becomes theirs. That is fair. These two bills, after all, will not make us immune to future individual and institutional failures, and nor should it. There is always a degree of risk, and without risk, there is no prosperity. I was alerted to a breakfast interview from a fortnight ago with Fairgo's Gordon Harcourt, a man who has no doubt seen a few dubious business practices in his time. When asked about the problems of company failure, he replied, "Company failure is not a crime, and that is a good thing because allowing failure encourages success. If we wanted to live somewhere where company failure was a crime, we could all go and live in Cuba or Venezuela where capitalism is illegal." What these bills represent are big improvements on the current regulatory environment. Let's be clear, ACT takes a dim view of costly regulations and red tape. As Minister of Regulatory Reform, Rodney Hyde has a bill coming before Parliament to prevent such follies before they happen. If passed, the Regulatory Standards Bill will play a huge part in increasing the efficiency and transparency of the lawmaking process and will, in turn, make our economy more productive and prosperous. So as the party of those opposed to pointless and costly red tape, ACT doesn't accept new regulations lightly. But it was ACT who led the drive to sort out our finance companies, and while there's no such thing as the perfect law, anything that increases the efficiency and transparency of our capital and financial markets is to be applauded. Such steps will help our fragile economy attract the investment it needs so badly to recover. Accordingly, we support these bills.
Mr. Speaker.
I call the honourable